What is up, YouTube? This is Chris Albert coming to you from Long Beach, California. I got a question today. It was a really good question, so that's why I'm bringing it out. It's from Tyler, and Tyler wanted to know. He says bench pressing and shoulder issues seem to be a huge issue many people have, myself included. I feel like I've read a ridiculous amount of articles or posts online dealing with trying to solve my shoulder problems. 90% of my issues always comes from flat barbell bench press. My strength gains on flat bench have probably been the weakest because I can never get a solid consistency on lifting. I've always done a regular grip, pinky ring on the line, and kept my shoulders back. I touch the bar low on my chest, usually even toward the upper abdominals, and I keep my elbows in line with my forearms. I noticed that bodybuilders tend to do pretty wide grips to put a lot of stress on the chest, but this absolutely kills my shoulders. Recently, I watched Mike O'Hearn talk about powerlifting form and bending the bar, which pulls the elbows in a really tucked position. This seems to take most of the stress off my shoulders, but it's still a bit shaky. I'm a taller guy, 6'2", with fairly long arms, so touching the bar to my chest always puts my elbows below the bench. Am I just naturally at a disadvantage? Here's the thing. And Everybody loves to talk about how much they can bench. Everybody loves to load the weight up on the bench press and lift with their ego a little bit. And the thing is, what you have to think about is what your goal is. Is your goal to obtain a great bench press? Is your goal to be a bodybuilder? Because these are two different things, and I don't think a lot of people understand the difference here. A great bench press does not necessarily mean a well-developed chest, because a lot of times, particularly with powerlifters, a lot of the stress is taken off of the pectorals and is put on the shoulders and the triceps. And in your case, Tyler, yes, there's a lot of stress being put on your shoulders. And so what you have to think of as a bodybuilder, because bodybuilding is not just about yes, of course it is about going out and going fucking beast mode on the weights, but there's also an art and a finesse to doing this. You have to come up with the exercises that are going to match your body mechanics to bring out the muscle and develop the muscle the way you want it to look. And I think that including exercises like the bench press in my routine, my body mechanics suck for the bench press. And I've kept practicing at it. And I think my chest and my upper body would be a lot prettier had I not spent so much time on it. So what you have to consider is what exercises are going to get that development that you want. Dumbbells might actually give you a lot more flexibility in keeping your elbows in so that you're not putting so much stress on the shoulder. And then as you push up, really kind of focusing on those pecs. Hammer strength. Everybody tries to say free weights, but hammer strength puts some good machines out there where if you get in the right position, you can really keep the focus on the pectoral muscles. Cable crossovers, dumbbell flies. There's so many exercises you can do that will get you a well-developed chest. And I'm not just talking about chest here, but any body part. If you can't squat, well, first of all, here's the thing. If you can't squat, that means you have some pretty bad muscle imbalances, and you should try to work to fix those muscle imbalances. But as a 6'2" guy, you probably have problems squatting too. And so what you need to figure out is what stance or what form of squatting is going to work best with your body mechanics. You need to think about, if your goal is bodybuilding, what exercises are going to be better for you to develop your quads. Is leg press going to be a good exercise? Is the hack squat going to be a good exercise? Should you vary the squat to, put your heels up on a board or something like that? But this is where the art comes in to bodybuilding. This is where you have to think like an artist. You have to think about all the tools you have and bring them to bear. I'm an advocate of changing exercises every week. My clients, my online clients, they get fresh workouts every week with different types of exercises to give them more balanced physiques. And so I highly recommend doing that. If you have any more questions for me at all, hit me up. Getting2shredded@gmail.com. You hit me up on Instagram. Instagram is getting the number 2shredded. And then I'm up on Facebook too, guys. Other than that, hope y'all have a good evening. Happy Halloween. And I'll talk to you later.